Hey Geeks, welcome back to Sister Geeks Vlog. I'm T Mack.
I'm Jen P.
I'm Taylor.
And today we are going to be talking books, or more specifically, one book that we all decided to read together and then get together and share our thoughts. I'm really excited about it. I actually got to choose the book this time. Yay! And I chose a book called Garden Spells by Sarah Addison Allen. It's a book about a couple of sisters who have a magical heritage. It's very subtle. It's not really a book about witchcraft, but there's kind of magic happening. But then there's real life stuff happening too. This book is about two sisters, Claire and Sydney. Claire is living a very quiet, very boring life, but you know, she's doing what she loves.
Safe.
It's very safe. It's very safe. She cooks. She has a catering business. And her sister Sydney, who was always the popular one, the pretty one, and the wild one, disappeared 10 years ago, suddenly shows back up. And the two of them really have to figure out how to be a part of each other's lives again and how to cope with their past so they can kind of deal with their present and move into their future. And some good stuff and some tragic stuff. And I just think it's really cool, and so I wanted to share it with my ladies, and now we get to talk about it. So let's start with Jen. Jen, what did you think of Garden Spells?
I actually liked it a lot. It's kind of like you said, it's subtle. There was a lot of little hidden magic in there. Everybody had a specialty magic, which was really cool to me. And it reminded me a lot of practical magic, but like less disturbing. It was like a smoother version of practical magic, and I love practical magic. So
Yeah, that's a good movie.
But no, you know, raising somebody back from the dead, doing weird shit. Like,
right, like nobody was murdered, like they weren't hiding bodies. You know,
Yeah.
it was
a more casual practical magic.
right.
What I find interesting is both of you separately made that comparison to practical magic. And while I love practical magic and watch it at least once a year or so, I actually had not made the connection between the books. Like, I see where you guys get the connection because both books feature two sisters who kind of are magical. One of them has a child. Like, I get it.
Right.
I really do understand it. You know, one of them leads a really quiet life. The other's a little wilder. I understand. It just never occurred to me to make the comparison at all, even though I love them both. Because in my head, like, practical magic is kind of hard rock. Like, it's hardcore. And this book is more like easy listening. Like, they never connected in my brain, but it totally makes sense. It really does. Now that you both said it, I see it. Which kind of makes sense because I do love practical magic. It's a really good movie. If you haven't watched it ever or lately, you should rectify that. It's still there. Taylor, what did you think?
I think I liked the sisters' relationship, both distant and then coming together. How they had to, they both had things, one present day, one in her past life, that they had to forgive and rectify before they could come together. Like, there was stuff that they had to, it wasn't just like coming home and, hey girl, I missed you. It was just like, okay, you're back.
Yeah.
And they had to like get over their own crap before they could actually be sisters again. And I sort of enjoyed
real relationship-wise.
It was.
Yeah.
Especially she was gone like what, 10 years or
Yeah,
something?
10 years.
And clearly they weren't communicating.
That whole time. Yeah.
Phone calls, postcards, nothing.
Nothing.
And so, of course, when she comes back, it's not gonna be like, oh my god, I miss you. It's, hi, I guess you're here.
Well, and I also loved how she got the perceptions of each of the sisters right, because you switch perspective when you're reading it as well. She did a really good job with each voice, making it feel like you were reading a different sister. I never got confused, like, who am I reading now, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. They each had a very distinctive voice. And so, yeah, there was no question of whose perspective you were coming from, because they both had a distinct voice, and they had very different experiences, even though they grew up together. Just completely different, like, upbringings, even within the same context.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really interesting. The book does feature some romantic elements, and I thought those were handled in a really fun way as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't beat you over the head with romance. Like,
Right.
that's not the point of the book, which I like.
And they were very lighthearted.
Yes.
Like, it
Right.
was not this head over heels kind of. Both of them sort of had to be dragged into romance at all.
Well, if anyone was head over heels, it was the guys.
Yes.
Yes.
The guys both seemed like they were very committed to making it happen.
Yes.
Whereas the girls were both like, nah.
Which is such a different perspective
Yes.
in a book or any kind of entertainment whatsoever, because it's usually always the female that's portrayed as like, oh my god, I have to have him, hashtag love him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this time it was the boys, and I was honestly like,
Yeah, you did that.
y'all are cute.
Yeah,
Right.
I
Y'all are
agree.
cute.
I enjoy also the supporting characters in this
Yes,
book.
the
The secondary characters you care about. They're well rounded.
They're
and
real people.
They're real people, and you care what's going on with them. So there's even Elle, who is their cousin, I think, or aunt. One.
Cousin.
She's
I
older.
think a distant cousin.
Yeah, but she's a little older. She also has her own quirky form of magic, which is so sweet.
I love her magic.
And then there's the grocery store manager Fred, who's having
Fred.
I love
like
Fred.
an existential crisis, and he's going like
Fred.
you root for him, like you care about even the secondary characters and what's going on with them. There's like a mean girl who's still a mean girl, even though like everybody's
Moved on.
a decade removed
Well-
from high school. It's insane.
And in the mean girl's defense, she doesn't have the best influences around her.
She
Her
sure
mother
doesn't.
is like pushing her to be this horrible person, and she's very insecure. She's always lived in the shadow of Sydney.
Yeah.
So
But
it doesn't excuse anything that she does,
No.
but you understand why she is the way she is.
Yes.
and
And
hashtag Mean Girl came through at the end.
Yeah.
And saved the day, and that was some character growth right there.
it was. And I kudos to her husband. As
I
well,
know.
because
I was waiting for that.
while
to go
she
back.
while she was dwelling on the past, and while she was like still hung up on like teenage antics, her husband was like, "What are you talking about?
Yeah,
like
no
we're
one-
so far beyond any of that."
Right.
That I respected that a lot. I loved that.
It just proved that she had no idea what even her life was about.
It's true.
She had no clue. She thought her entire life was based on sex and lies.
Right.
And came to realize that she had the greatest gift the whole time and didn't.
It's so true.
She had no idea.
It's so true. So, I mean, you got a book that's technically about two sisters, but there are all these other people, and all of them are interesting, and all of them have a complete story, a complete background, a complete character arc, and you care about them. And so I really enjoy this book for that reason, that there's just a lot of people who feel very real, and there's a lot to love about it, even though there's a magic element.
Yes.
And then, because it's magic, there are characters that aren't even characters. The house itself that these women live in and grew up in is a character, and there's a tree in the backyard.
That pesky tree.
The tree.
The tree is a magic tree. It
I love
bears
the
magic
tree.
fruit, and it does weird stuff in a magic way, and it's so much fun.
Why does everybody hate this tree? That tree is like trying to help you. Listen to the tree. Listen.
And then there are times where everybody's hanging out, and it just wants to be a part of the fun.
Oh, when it was pulling the table,
Like-
it was just like,
It was like, come over
Get
here.
over here.
I want to have fun. I want to laugh with you guys, even though I'm a tree. It was cute.
And then the pictures, it like kept all the pictures.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, tree.
but it also cracked me up the characters' interactions with it. Like at Claire one time picking up the apples. Oh, shut up. It's just a tree.
Right? It's a tree.
Why are you so mad at
Why
that
you
tree?
mad?
Also-
There is a sequel, a follow-up to this book. The second book is called First Frost. It time jumps. And so Claire, in the second book, is a mom at this point, and Sydney's daughter, Bay, who was 5 in the first book, is like 16 in the second book.
Oh, Lord.
There's
I
a
know.
lot. I mean, there's
Drama.
everything is developed. It's the same characters that you get to know, that you enjoy, and that you've grown to love. But life has moved on, and now there's new things going on with each of them, and brand new situations to overcome and neuroses to wade through and all that good stuff. So it's worth a read. Like, if you enjoy the first one, the second one
I will
is
go
as
check
good.
it out. I will go check it out.
I highly recommend it.
I
I
enjoyed the
definitely
first
want
one.
to read the second one because I finished the first one and I was just like, I feel gypped. I feel ripped off. Excuse me, my copy's missing 200 pages.
Right?
Can I have it, please?
I want
See,
more.
I felt the opposite. Like, I closed the book and I was like,
You felt some closure.
yeah. I was just
Good.
like, that was nice. I could read that again.
Yeah.
Like a cat in a windowsill.
Yeah.
You know, basking.
I'm very happy with it.
That is a good description for the feeling that you get while reading this book. It's definitely a cat taking a sun bath in the window. Like, oh my god. Because the whole time I feel like even when drama was going down, I still, every time I would stop reading it, I had warm fuzzies.
Yeah,
It's very cozy.
I would
Yeah.
say cozy is the word I would use to describe this book.
Yeah.
Cozy.
It is cozy, and it makes you feel cozy and warm
It does.
and just content and happy.
Yeah.
And so I have read this book numerous times. I've read it enough times at this point that I've lost track of how many times I've read it. I own it both in print and audio versions. That's just how it is. Like, I love this.
you.
It's so fun. It's
When
just,
you love it, you'll love it.
and it's one of those that it's a comfort book you can go back to over and over again. It's a quick, easy read. It doesn't take up your time. It doesn't take a lot of thought, and it lets you relax and just enjoy. So I think the consensus is that we definitely recommend this book. If you have not checked out Garden Spells by Sarah Addison Allen, Sister Geeks highly recommends that you do. It's a good read. We believe you'll enjoy it, especially if you enjoy a little magic in your world and in the world of the characters that you spend time with. So if you do happen to check it out, come back and let us know if you enjoyed it and what you liked about it. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys next time. Later, geeks.